and we're going to just play this video, interact with the screen, and we're going to have some fun.
Soon this table of coffee cups will be clear, but I know it's bright and early and you still want yours. So find your cup by interacting with the screen. Point to any coffee cup. Now, find the nearest gray cup. Now search for the nearest yellow cup. Make sure it's the closest one.
We're not seeing the screen. We're seeing your
the nearest green cup and point to that one.
Wait, what are you seeing?
Like your whole driving board.
Okay.
Your desktop. Thank you in the chat.
Okay. Sorry about that. Where? Why don't we have the share screen anymore? So you're seeing my desktop. Do you see the video now?
I do not know.
Maybe it's sharing the wrong screen. Do you see the video here? No.
No, you might need to stop share and then reshare. Zoom's a little finicky.
Okay. Why did they? Oh, it moved to a different screen. Okay, I'm on a new share.
We've all been on Zoom for a year, so we know when this all happens. So bear with us, everyone, and we'll get us.
This table of coffee cups will be clear.
Is this good?
But I know
we're not seeing. We're seeing a car now.
Oh, you're seeing. Okay, it's sharing the wrong screen. Okay. Well, thank you for telling me. Now it should be here.
We're still seeing the car.
So it's not sharing.
So I would recommend stop share and then come back on and select the proper screen. Zoom, as I said, Zoom's a finicky little thing. Very accessible, but finicky.
Okay. Do a screen.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Stop share. Sorry about that. Everybody, interact with the screen. We're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna get started.
So find your cup. Soon this table of coffee cups will be clear, but I know it's bright and early and you still want yours. So find your cup by interacting with the screen. Point to any coffee cup. Now, find the nearest gray cup. Now search for the nearest yellow cup. Make sure it's the closest one. Finally, look for the nearest green cup and point to that one. Don't move. The cups are about to clear.
Okay, are we back? Okay, great. Hopefully that worked for everybody. I'm really sorry about the hiccup. Let's get back to, all right, let's get back to it. As I said, I am a mentalist. Hopefully you all have your coffee cup now, and I will be using some volunteers from the audience. So I'm gonna start right off and get into it. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer and help out today with something? I'm gonna look up at the chat. You could raise your hand. Say you're me. Yes. Okay. Ashley Morgan. Ashley, are you able to come on with us? Can you bring her on? Jedi Mind Tricks.
Hi.
Are you okay? Great. Are you able to pull up your camera or no?
I'm looking and I don't see a camera option here.
Okay.
Somebody else can go if they can get their camera running. I don't see a camera option.
Okay, it's fine. I don't, as long as they could hear you and you could hear me, everything should be fine, because I don't think you need a visual for this one. So Ashley, thank you so much for volunteering. Now we're gonna play a little game, Ashley. Now I'm gonna give you a chance to win $5. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off the morning with a chance to win $5. Now all you have to do is select the proper envelope. So over here I have 3 envelopes. So I have one that says mine on it. I have one that says yours. And then I have this one with the question mark. Okay. So I have mine, I have yours, and this one with the question mark that nobody ever chooses this one. No. So don't worry about that. So you could either choose mine, yours, or this one with the question mark that no one ever chooses. Now you're going to notice that mine is substantially larger than yours, but there is a reason for that. And again, it could be just about perspective, right? So from my perspective, mine is mine and yours is yours. But from your perspective, mine could be yours and yours could be mine. So after that little spiel, I just want you to pick any envelope. You could either choose mine, you could choose yours, or you can choose the envelope that no one ever chooses with a question mark for a chance to win what's in the envelope and hopefully $5. So Ashley, which one would you like to choose?
Yours.
Yours?
Yes.
Sure. So I'm just going to put mine right there. So yours, open it up right here. Let's see, right in front, there's something in there. And you got $5.
Nice.
Ashley, you won $5.
Very cool.
Now I have to tell you, you have to see what's in the other envelopes, right? You'd be like, well, what was in the other ones? I don't know. So say you would have chose mine, right? If you would have chose mine, you could choose any of the ones you want. You went with yours. There is something in mine as well. In the mine, there was $50.
Oh, nice.
In the mine, there was $50. And of course, no one ever chooses this one. This is the one with the question mark that no one ever chooses. And in there, it's a few $100s.
Wow.
It's about $500. But you did win you won $5. If you want, I will totally Venmo you that. You could just send me a message, an email, or post it in the group. That is completely fine. Now I do want to try one more thing with you, Ashley, before we go. I know we all, after all this, I don't know, when was the last time you were on an airplane?
December.
Okay, December. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Things are starting to pick up and people are starting to travel more. I think we all do need a vacation. So I want you to imagine that you're running through the airport. We're all going on a vacation, and you get to the terminal where you are. You look up at the clock. You made it on time, and your flight is leaving at a specific time. So I want you to look up and see what time. Don't say it out loud. Just see a time in your mind when this plane is taking off. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to show you something here. Here I have a watch. I'm going to put it right there. Can you see what time that says? I'm about an hour ahead of you, so it says about 10:30. Can you see that?
Yes.
Actually? Okay, great.
Yep.
Now I want you to think of your time. Maybe it was 10:30. I don't know what time you were thinking, but I want you to just get in your mind and just think about it. And I want you to think about first the hour. So from 1 to 12, just think from 1 to 12 in your head. And can you actually count from 1 to 12 for me?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And then back to 1 really quick.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Perfect. Now think of the minute hand, just what minutes it was. Don't say it. Just think about it. Okay. Ashley, steak or shrimp?
Steak.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What color is your car?
White.
Okay. I'm going to keep this here just like that. Now, Ashley, what time, when you were looking up at the clock, what time were you thinking of?
5:15.
5:15, exactly.
Yes.
I want to show you, I'm going to turn this around. What time does that say right there?
Wow.
5:15.
Yeah.
Thank you
Very
so much.
cool.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ashley, for helping out. See, it's not that scary. I really do
No.
appreciate it.
So
Thank
cool.
you so much. Awesome. Now, just to give a little bit of background about me, we are going to have some fun. Why did I do that? I wanted to show Ashley, and I want to show all of you the power of influence, how we can influence people to make decisions, whether it's choosing an envelope or the influence that people have around us that we don't even know, and the influence that we might have on other people that we're not always aware of. So a lot of people ask me, how did you get started in this? How does this all work? Because it's a weird profession. I got, there's one of two ways that people usually get started in magic, because I started magic when I was 6 years old. There were two things that happened to me when I was 6. I'll get into the other one later, but the first one is I got a magic kit. Some people see a magician like David Copperfield on TV and they want to be a magician. I got a magic kit when I was 6 years old. And I started to dabble in magic as a child. I had that fake thumb that maybe many people had. And as a little kid, I would put that handkerchief in and I would put my thumb and then open it up and make it disappear. The only problem is I was a 6-year-old with this giant thumb on my hand, and it really didn't fool anybody, except my mom. But I think she was just being really nice because she's a mom. So she's being nice, acting like she was fooled. And she gave me that encouragement to keep practicing and keep working on stuff. And when I was 13 years old, a man by the name of David Blaine, many of you probably heard of him, came out with his first magic special. And when he came out with that special, he kind of made magic cool again. He did it differently on the streets. And I thought, wow, this is something that I would definitely like to do. And I do some of those tricks. So I started to take it more serious because before that, I thought it was kind of nerdy, a little geeky. But when I was 13, it became cool. So I started performing in classrooms and for all over for doing private parties and started doing actually getting paid work when I was 13 years old. But everybody always told me you can't be a magician. They also told me I can't be a professional basketball player because I wanted to do that as well. And that was my first goal, then a magician. And probably the third one would have been astronaut. I just always shoot for the stars. That's kind of how I am. So everyone says they're going to tell you what you can't do. You're going to notice that. People are always going to tell you what you can't do. And they told me I can't be a magician. If people can't do it themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it as well. But how I say is everything you ever wanted is on the other side of hard. So if you're able to put in the work with whatever it is, it's going to be hard, but you can accomplish that. So I started to, but at the time when I was 13, I started to believe them. So I started to think, I can't do magic. That's not a career. And then going into high school, and then I was down and into college. And in college, I figured, you know what, I need to make a job. How am I going to make a living here? What am I going to do for work? But then I started to think that there's the mentalism side of magic. And that's what I got into in college, because mentalism is mind reading, or it looks like mind reading, and it's influencing people to make decisions and reading body language. And when you're in college, you're 18 to 22 or so, you're looking for a job in the workforce. And if you could influence someone to hire you, then you can get that job, right? If you can influence that girl to go out with you in college, you can get that girlfriend. So I thought, oh, influence, that's what I want to do. Let me go more into the mentalism side. So I got more into the mentalism. But at the time, I was working for a company called Verizon Wireless. Many of you might have known Verizon Wireless. And I thought that was going to be my career, selling cell phones. Like when you're a kid, that's what you think you're going to do, whatever you're doing currently. And at the time, I'll do a quick story here. In 2008, there was a very historic thing that happened. Barack Obama won the election. He was the first Black president. And from the Verizon store, if you go and type in a phone number into the Verizon, you can pull up people's accounts, right? So if you go in, they ask you for your phone number, you put it in, your name, your account, your address, all your information is going to come up in the Verizon account. Well, if you didn't have your phone number back then, people might have forgot their phone number. You give your name and the town you live in, you could get that information. So this gentleman in my store typed in Barack Obama, Chicago. And all of Barack Obama's information came up in our computer. And he decided to call him to congratulate him for becoming the first Black president. He's like, I got to congratulate this guy. So he calls him up on the phone. The phone rings. I was like, there's no way Obama is going to pick up the phone. Like, I don't even know if that's really his phone. I was like, there's no way. Although there's not many Barack Obamas in Chicago. So he calls him up, rings. He doesn't pick up. It ends up going to voicemail. And you heard Barack Obama's voice. He was actually his phone. And he said, "You've reached Senator Barack Obama. If this is an emergency, you can reach me on my BlackBerry." Yes, this was a thing back then. There were BlackBerries in 2008. So the kid decides to write down the number really quick. He's like, "I'm going to call his BlackBerry," which I don't think is a very good idea. Probably maybe the worst idea you can do. But he decides saying, "No, I'm going to call him. I got to congratulate him. I got to tell him how I feel." I'm like, "What do you mean how you feel? Like, this isn't, this is not a good idea. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but this cannot end well. This isn't good." So he decides to pick up the phone. He calls Obama's bat phone, which is his BlackBerry. It rings a couple of times. I'm like, there's no way Obama's picking up the phone. After about 2 or 3 rings, "Hello," that's my Obama voice. Obama picks up the phone, and this gentleman says, "Congratulations, bro. I knew you could do it. More power to you. Anything you need, I got your back. Let me know." Obama says, "Who is this? Who is this?" And hangs up on the kid. The very next day, Secret Service show up to our store. No joke, you could totally look this up. I'm in Bayside, Queens, New York. You could look up breach in security, Verizon, Obama, Bayside, Queens. Like, this is all article you're going to find on the internet. You can find anything on the internet these days. And Secret Service show up to our store, and they look through everybody's account. If you looked up his phone number, you were terminated. If you were seen looking at it on surveillance video, you were terminated. They do not play around, especially with presidents. Like, it is crazy. So apparently the back of my head looks very similar to the back of other people's heads. So they didn't know I was looking at the phone number, but I was. So I kept my job, and they actually hooked us all up to polygraph tests to make sure, ask us questions about our family and weird psychological things to see if we had any intent of doing any harm or anything like that. They're doing their due diligence. But at the time, this was 2008. And I know we just had a crazy year last year, but that was a recession in its own in 2008 with the housing crisis. And I needed a job. I needed to pay my bills. I needed to pay for college. Like, this is all a thing. So I said, well, what if I lie through the polygraph test? I need to keep my job, and I'm a mentalist. I know what they're doing. I'm, out of college, a stupid college kid. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I said, let me fool this polygraph test. I can do it. So as they're going, they're asking me all these questions about my family, about all different types of things. And all I did was just lie through the test. I said, no, I didn't see this. I didn't. And I ended up fooling a polygraph test when I was about 22 years old. And long story short, I kept my job. And then I got fired about 3 months later. Had nothing to do with the security thing, but Verizon ended up buying out a company called Alltel Wireless. Alltel Wireless, they had a deal with them. If you get their employees, then you had to keep their employees. And then what they did is they fired the 10-year employees that they're paying more, and they kept all the Alltel. This doesn't mean anything to you, I know. But what that did for me is, it's that adversity when I was like, well, now I lost my job. What am I going to do? Where am I going with my life? Everybody tells you can't do something magic. And then you're kind of just pushed over the edge, and many of you might be in these circumstances where I was, and I needed to be pushed, which I wish I didn't have to be, because there's so many times when is the right time to make that leap? When is the right time to do something, to whatever it is? When is the right time to make that investment? If you invested in Bitcoin a few years ago, you'd be a millionaire, but you didn't, so when is the right time to make that investment, make that leap of faith, change whatever you have to do? And the answer usually is it was yesterday, or it was last week, it was a month ago, and you missed it. Usually you never get it at the right time, ever. But when is the second best time to take that leap? And the second best time is usually right now. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about how we can take that leap and how we can change our mindset and really get the most value out of everybody around us and deliver the most value to our clients, our coworkers, our family, our friends, and be the best version of oneself. And sadly enough, I didn't see it. I had to be pushed. I got fired. But it turned out to be the best thing for me. And what I had to do is now I had to fend for myself. And a lot of times when we're put in those situations, how are we going to be, or what are we going to do when we're faced with adversity? You know, who do we become at those tough moments in life? And from that, I had to surround myself with the right people, because we can't go at it alone. So I had to surround myself with the right team. And I had to find myself a website guy. I had to find other magicians that do magic and understand the business of it. I had to find a marketing person, a video person to make videos, and all these people that we had to surround ourselves with, because we can't go at it alone. And a lot of times we need to give something to get something. So I had to find these people. I needed them to help me. How do I get them to help me? I have no money. I just got fired. I have nothing. You have to see what value you can bring to other people. One of the most successful people that I've ever met in my life was a speaker, entertainer, and I went to see his event and his performance. And afterwards, everybody went up to him and was trying to pick his brain. How did you do this? What can I get from you? And they're always trying to take. And the one thing I did to this person, and it was just genuinely what I wanted to do. I just said, I saw him so swarm to people, and I just said, how can I be most helpful to you? Like, you're going crazy right now. Everybody's all over you. How can I be most helpful to you right now? What can I do for you? And he was going crazy, and he said, wait to the side for a minute. And afterwards, about like 30 minutes, when he started, after talking to everybody, he pulled me to the side and he said, you're the first person who ever asked me that question. How can I be most helpful to you? And that is one of the key questions that I will leave with you. You can always ask someone, how can I be most helpful to you? And genuinely, if you want to help them, and I know you guys are, I love doing workforce events. So the WIOA Summit, I know we were going to do this last year. I've done workforce events around the country, because you are genuinely amazing human beings, like genuinely good people that want to help others. And that's why I love, you don't get into what you do for the money, the glamour, the fame, or anything like that. You genuinely like helping people, and you guys are some of the most awesome people I know. So I know there's a lot of people on this webinar. I don't know the exact number. I'm not looking at the screen, but you guys are amazing people. And how do you deal with adversity? And this is what I really want to talk to you. So I'm going to show you a little slide here. I'm going to bring it up. And let's do. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little slide here. And this is really how you face adversity, or who you are when things happen, when tough times come. Now, this is a food analogy. So I hope you guys like food. We started out with the coffee in the morning. So this is all based on food. So the very first thing is the egg, okay? So when you're faced with adversity, when you want to surround yourself with the right people, and you want to be that person that overcomes obstacles. So there are 3 types of people that you can decide to be. Now, put this right here. So now, okay, there we go. Now we can see, okay, now you can see each other. So the first type of person is the egg personality. All right, so this is what I call the boiling pot of water of life. When you're thrown into that boiling pot of water, when you're faced with adversity, who do you become? Okay, so we all know the egg. So what is an egg? An egg is very fragile when you go buy it at the supermarket, right? It's very fragile. It could break very easily. And then when you put it in a boiling pot of water, what happens to that egg? It becomes hard, right? It hardens up, it toughens up. And we all know people like this. It's not always the best thing, but they come very tough and very hard. When they're faced with that adversity, they get very stubborn and they want to do everything themselves. It's my way or the highway mentality. They might not be open to new ideas. These people just get very hardened and they want to do things themselves, their way or the highway type of thing. And sometimes these people just got punched in the face one too many times with adversity, and they just harden up like a rock. Now, the next type of person is the carrot personality. Now, a carrot is very hard when you pick it up, when you buy it. But then when you put a carrot in a boiling pot of water, what happens to it? It turns to mush, right? And we all know people like this as well. They might talk a huge game in the interview. They act all tough. They talk a big game. But when life happens, when they're faced with that adversity, they're pushed to the edge. Maybe they have a deadline. They fumble. They fold their cards. They crumble. They don't know how to deal with that pressure and that adversity. So they fold their hand. Now, this is the last type of person, the next one, which is the coffee bean. And this is the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, the clients you want to have, the people that you want to become. And as I said, you guys are such amazing people, always giving and always helping others. I know these are the type of people most of you are. And if you're not, strive to be this person. It's okay. I wasn't this person. I was more of the carrot. You know, I kind of believed what everybody said around me when they said you couldn't do something. I started to believe it. I said, okay, fine. I won't be a magician. I won't do this. I'll fold my hand. I won't really go full force at something. So there's always times that you can change. And the last thing is that coffee bean. Now, what happens if you drop a coffee bean in a boiling pot of water? Right? It changes its environment. It changes everything around it. It's not a victim of its circumstances and its environment. It changes it. It controls it. And no matter whether you grind a coffee bean up into little pieces, you crush it, you drop it in that water, it adds vibrancy, it adds life to it, and it takes over that whole environment. And that's the type of person that I hope you all strive to be and that you want to surround yourself with. Those are those influencers that are getting things done, that are changing the way society is. They're changing, they're innovating, they're collaborating, they're innovating with others. And those are the people that I really hope you all are, you strive to be, and you surround yourself with. Stay away from the eggs, stay away from the carrots. There might be good people, but if you really want to push forward and innovate, you want to surround yourself with those right people. And I know many of you already are. So I want to come back over to this. I do want to try something. Again, I do need a couple volunteers here. And I have a list of some names. I was given some names. Now, is there anybody who would, I'm looking at chat now, that's great, thank you. I love this, I'm the carrot, great. I was a carrot as well. Okay, so is there anybody who would like to help out? And I do have a name of Dr. Lisa Blythe-Jones. Is she on here? And I have a funny story how I got your name, if you are on here. And I have Bevan Gibson, who I hear that Bevan is on. So if Bevan's here, if Dr. Lisa Blythe-Jones is on, I'd love all of you. And if there's one or two more people who would like to help out, looking at the chat, if there's anyone here, add me, Sherry. Okay, so do we have a couple people? We have Bevan up here. I see Bevan, hi, how are you? Who else do we have up here? If you can't, just turn on your camera. Whoever's gonna come on, just turn on your camera. I see Bevan. Okay, we have Sherry, and if we have one more. And just make sure you unmute yourselves as well.
I just moved over Cindy Drew.
Okay, so we have Bevan, Sherry, and Cindy. Great. I'm going to switch over to this camera over here. Now I'm going to start with we'll start with Bevan. Bevan, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Great. Can you see these cards right here in front of me?
I can make out the plus sign, the star, the square, but I can't make out that squiggly thing in the middle.
Okay, so this is a circle.
Okay, I didn't see
Okay,
that
a
one.
circle.
Your
Okay.
name is in front of the circle.
Got it. Okay, so well, I can't change that, but there's a circle.
Okay,
There's a plus sign. There's a wavy line. It's just a squiggly line.
okay,
And there's a square and there's a star.
okay,
What these cards are, I don't know if some of you might have seen them. I don't know. They're called ESP cards. That stands for extrasensory perception cards. And what it was, they were developed in the 1930s by a professor at Duke University. And what this professor did was he put two people in separate rooms and he wanted to see if ESP or telepathic powers were possible back then in the 1930s. So they would put two people in different rooms. They would give them a set of these cards and say they wanted the plus sign. One person in one room would stare at it and try to send it to somebody else in another room to see if they could send that thought. Long story short, this didn't work out and the government wasted tons of money, millions of dollars trying to do this to see if we could send these thoughts. Totally didn't work out. So I want to try something with all of you right now, the three of you. Now, Bevan, again, we have the circle, the plus, the wavy line, we have a square, and we have a star. If you had to think of a sixth symbol, these are 5 symbols. If you had to think of a sixth, what symbol would come to mind? Something simple that we would all recognize. What would you think of?
A trapezoid.
A trapezoid.
No, a triangle.
A
Let's do a
triangle.
triangle.
Okay, triangle, sure. So we have a triangle. Now, Sherry, are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
I would pick a heart.
Okay, well, Bevan already picked the triangle, so so Bevan picked the triangle. Now we're gonna try something with you as well. So Bevan says triangle. So you can see trapezoid, triangle, heart, like we all have these free choices. Now I'm gonna give you a choice, Sherry. Now, Bevan said triangle. I want you to think of the first word that comes to mind when you hear triangle, but just keep it in your mind. Don't say it out loud. Do you have something?
Yes.
You have something. Okay. Now I want you to change your mind to something else because I don't want you to think the first thing. So change your mind to something else,
Okay.
like a word association game, and change it one more time. So this isn't the first thing. This isn't the second thing that you thought of. This is maybe the third thing that you thought of when it comes to triangle or the word association to that. Do you have something in your mind now?
Yes.
Yes, Sherry?
Yes.
What word are you thinking of now?
Concrete.
Concrete. Perfect. So from triangle, we got all the way to concrete. And that was a really weird way to get there, right? Because we all have these free choices that we make, and it's completely up to you. Now, Cindy, now we're going to try something with you. Cindy, now these cards are all different. We have the circle plus, wavy line, the square, and the star. Now I have duplicate cards here. Now I'm going to try to send you one of these cards. Okay, I'm going to try to send you one of them, and I want you to tell me what you think this card is. I'm going to go with, say, this one. Now, Cindy, do you think this one is the circle, the plus, the wavy line, the square, or the star? What do you think?
The wavy line.
You think this is the wavy line? Cindy,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to see it?
Sure.
Oh my God, because you got it right. You got it, you got it. Okay. I have a lot of faith in you guys. I have a lot of faith.
I think you got it right.
No, I sent it to you. Right, so
Okay.
we're in totally different places. I'm in New York right now, and you guys are all the way in Illinois. So, okay, now we're gonna mix these up again. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna say this one. Cindy, which one do you think this one is?
In between two. I'm gonna go with the square.
Square, okay. What about this one? Send it to you.
The circle.
The circle, okay. Now we're gonna go back to Bevan.
Mhm.
Bevan, which one do you think this one is?
The star.
The star, okay, we'll put that there. Now we have two more. We'll go with this one.
I think that is the circle. Can I pick the circle?
We already had the circle.
Okay, fine. Then that one is the squiggly line.
Squiggly, that one, okay. If it's not the circle, it has to be the squiggly line, right? And then if this one has to be the plus sign.
That's right.
So it has to be that. So Sherry, we're gonna go back to you. You have the option now to leave everything the same or to change everything you want. You can pick the circle if you thought the squiggly line was the circle. If you want to go what Bevan said, completely your choice. You could either leave everything the way it is and trust Cindy and Bevan that they made every right choice, or you can change something. And now don't feel like you have to leave it because you're going to be bad if you change something. It's fine. And don't feel like you have to change something.
I want to trust the way it is.
And don't let me confuse you.
What's that?
So you want to leave it the way it is. You trust that everything was done right.
I like that. Leave it.
Great. Well, I just want to show you, I'm glad the circle was already chosen and Bevan didn't change it because we had that circle. Cindy had it right. But just because that circle was there, then Bevan said the wavy line was on this one, and you got that one right as well. So far, so good. But not only that, that plus sign hit, we got the square to hit, and we also got the star. Perfect.
So we
So
left
some-
them all the same.
What was that?
So we left them all the same.
Yeah, we
and
left
they
them all the
st-
same.
And they've all fit.
Well, you chose all your choices and we got them all to fit. Yes. We did get them all to fit. Yet sometimes you have to, a lot is what I'm trying to get at is teamwork, right? So sometimes you have to trust your colleagues to say, we're going to leave them all the same. And sometimes you have to trust them to say, no, we're going to make other decisions. And it's all about that trust and that influence we have at one another. Now, I also said earlier that there's going to be a 6 symbol, right? There was a 6 symbol, and it's right here. And you said, what was it?
Triangle.
It was Bevan said triangle, right?
Yeah.
So we opened this up, and inside I had in this card, I wrote a picture of a triangle. But not only that, there's a triangle. But then I asked, was it Sherry? I asked you about to come up with a word. And what was the first word that you came up with?
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember? You changed your mind a couple times.
Grass.
It was grass? Okay. So you came up with grass, and then you came up with a second word. And then the last third word that you came up with was what?
Concrete.
Concrete, right?
Oh my gosh.
And these are all your free choices. But it's amazing how we can be influenced and how we need to work together to really accomplish a goal. So if we have something that we're trying to get with, whether it's these symbols that we're trying to set up or a deadline that we're trying to meet, or anytime we're trying to do something, we need to surround ourselves with the right team. As I said earlier, we need to surround ourselves with those coffee beans, and we need to be that coffee bean that adds life, that vibrancy, that changes the environment. But not only do we need to be those people and surround ourselves with those people, but when you surround yourself with the right people, those proactive people that are doing things, you need to trust them. So many times we might surround them, but then we say, oh, we need this team, but I still want to do it this way. Well, if you had that team, if you trusted that person, you hired that person, you're helping that person, that client, whatever it is, you need to listen to them. And we need to work together. And when we work together, we can accomplish amazing things together. So I want to bring something up here. Now I'm going to show you something else on a slide here. I'm going to bring you back to this screen. And I'm going to go to the next slide. And on this slide, you're going to see a picture of a yellow dot. Okay. And all you guys, Bevan, Sherry, Cindy, I want to thank you all for helping. You don't need to stay on. It's okay. So you guys have been amazing to help. So it's completely fine to go back to your seats. But I want everybody in the room or in your homes, in your office, wherever you guys are right now, you should see this yellow dot. And what I want you to do is, I'll pull up this. I want you to make with your hand, I want you to take your thumb and your forefinger and make that OK symbol, just like this. Everybody has that. And what I want you to do is I want you to close one eye, either eye, and I want you to line up that yellow dot in the center of that OK symbol with whichever eye is open. Just line it up right in the center. Now, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything at all. All I want you to do is I want you to close the eye that's open and open the eye that's closed. Just switch eyes. Now, is it still in the center? No, of course it's not in the center anymore. But what changed? What changed about everything? And some of you are just looking at it probably at home like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've never seen this before. And you're just switching eyes back and forth. That's okay, you can do that. But what changed about everything here? Perspective. It's all about perspective and how you see things. Sometimes, have you ever seen something one way and you swore that's how it was? You said, that's it. This is the way. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the way it is. Until you found out it wasn't. Until someone showed you something different. And said, no, did you ever look at it this way? And then, oh yeah, you had that aha moment. This is how it is. Things like this happen. Now, what I'm going to show you another slide here. Now, in the chat, I just want you, I'm going to show a slide, just quickly write what you see here. Quickly write if you see something and what it is that you see. So we have a face, we have liar, We have a face and we have liar. Now, if I were to switch it this way, what do you guys see? You might see liar. Maybe someone that didn't see the face now, and some that saw liar, see the opposite. Now I can go back, see face, and we see liar. Now some of you might have seen the face, and some of you might have seen a liar in the beginning, and then it switched, and maybe you didn't see the other one. But once you see it now, you should all see it. So once you see something, you can't unsee it. So you might have seen the face, but you didn't see the liar. You might have seen liar, but you didn't see the face. And once you change that perspective, once you have that little shift in perspective, it's so powerful. Now, I believe that perspective is power. And the more perspectives you have, the more power you have, and the more influence you have around those, for those around you. Now, that is the more perspectives you gather, and the more we collaborate, because perspectives, once we surround yourself with those right people, you want to gather those perspectives, you want to collaborate with those people, you want to trust their ideas and their decisions, because perspective is only based on your past experience. So there might be in your industry some of the newbies that come in, and then there's some of the veterans that are in your industry, and they might clash. There might be this clash of, oh, the new people, they don't know what they're doing. They just got here, they don't know how it is. And those people need to rely on those veterans, those people that have been here for a while, to show them the ropes and to teach them the things that they don't know. But at the same idea, those other younger people can be bringing in new innovative ideas for a younger generation as the times change. So it's equally important that we partner with one another to help each other to really innovate. And that's how you really grow when you innovate. By collaborating with others inside and outside of your industry really leads to innovation. And that is the importance of partnership. Having the right partners, the right clients, the right people around us is so important. And when you do that, things will change. And you're going to get your clients, whether they walk into your door, they visit your website, you get a referral. These people, they put their trust in us, and we need to deliver on that trust. It's very big for someone to trust you, and you need to trust them as well. Clients will tell us what they need, but sometimes we just need to listen. A lot of times we get caught up in already having this preconceived notion of what they need. And we tell them when we don't really listen, we don't pay attention. But questions are the best thing. Asking those questions, listening to others. Questions lead to conversations. Conversations lead to more questions. And that's how we innovate, and that's how we move forward. So when I was a kid, I was always, and I don't have to pull, I could pull this slide off again. Okay. When I was a kid, I was always terrified to ask questions. I don't know if you guys are like me. You can raise your hand or say, oh, that's me. When I was a kid and I was in school, I was always afraid to raise my hand and ask a question. Early on, I had no issue. But then one day, when one kid raised their hand, they asked a question, and another kid laughed at them and said, oh, that's a stupid question. Why would you ask that? And then what happened to me? Every time I had a question, I just put my hand down. But so many times, that question, if you have that question, other people probably have that question too. And I am not afraid to ask questions. Questions that lead to conversations, those conversations lead to more questions. And you cannot be afraid to ask those questions. I actually tell people now, did you ask a good question today? I try to ask one good question every day. And that my question might be like one of the best ones I told you earlier. How can I be most helpful to you right now? Ask that to a client, ask that to a coworker, ask that to a family member, a friend. How can I be most helpful? What's troubling you right now? What can I do to take that off your plate to help you? And if you're always helping others, how could they not help you? So when you need something, that's why you sometimes need to give something to get something. All right. Now I want to try something with, I need another volunteer. Is there anyone here who would like to raise your hand and help with something? And for this person, I do need you to have access to a calculator. Now that calculator could be a regular calculator. It could be a calculator on your phone, just like I have here. If you have a phone with a calculator, Cecilia, do you have you can add?
Yeah, I can add Cecilia for you, Michael. Is that who you want?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Are you? Just make sure your camera is open and you're unmuted.
There she is.
Right.
Hello.
Hi, Cecilia. Do you have a phone or a calculator with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I don't know if people actually have real calculators anymore. I'm sure they do. I don't. I'll actually come over to this screen over here, as this might be a little bit better. So I'm going to show you the calculator. Now, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get a big number, okay? So what I want you to do is, and everybody at home, if you're at home, you can play along with this as well. So if you have a calculator, you can get it out. Everybody can do this. I just want to try it with one person, so not everybody is putting in crazy numbers. But if you have a calculator, follow along. I'm going to do this with Cecilia. So Cecilia, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. What month were you born?
April.
April. So that is 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the calculator, just type 4.
Okay.
Okay. I guess you're with me so far.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to multiply that, hit multiply. And I'm getting a message. Okay. What day of the month were you born?
The 7th.
The 7th?
Mm-hmm.
7. Okay. So we're going to multiply that by 7. And then we're going to multiply that. Are you also at 28?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Now I want you never ask a woman her age, so you don't want to ask her what year you were born. It's okay. You probably thought that's where we're going next. But I want you to give me a year that's memorable to you. Now, 2020 was a memorable year, of course.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have to be that. It could be an anniversary. It could be your birthday. It could be any year that is memorable to you.
2016.
2016. So just 2016. Perfect. Now I want you to just hit the plus. We're going to hit add. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Did it come up? Oh, maybe there's an update. So you can hit equals to get whatever number. You should have this number.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to type it in. I'm cheating.
Okay.
448.
No, that's fine. And just add your zip code. What zip code are you in?
62704.
62704 and hit equals. Are you at this number as well?
Yes.
Sure, great. Now what I want you to do is don't do anything yet. And everybody at home could have been up to this as well. Don't do anything yet, Cecilia. I want to get a bigger number here. So I'm going to put in a random number. Just don't do anything. We're going to put something here. Okay, so that's a number I put. Just add this number to what you have.
Okay. 3,602,576. Okay.
And then just hit equals whenever you're done. And what number are you at? It should be the same. Is that the same number?
Yes.
3,721,728. So we took the month you were born, the day you were born, and the year of a memorable year, your zip code, and then we added another big number to it. And you got 3,721,728, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cecilia, do you believe?
Do I believe at all?
That's when you ask that question, people are, what does that mean? I'm just going to put it out there. Do you believe?
Sure.
Right. There's things you might believe in. You believe. And as a magician, I want to come full circle now. Now we have that circle of influence, those people that we want to surround ourselves with, those coffee beans. Now you want to listen to those people and take their perspectives. Now, when you surround yourself with the right circle of influence, and then you take their perspectives, that changes your beliefs. Because now you believe things you might have not believed before, because you're surrounding yourself with people that you never thought you would be around. Like I said, I surrounded myself with people who always told me I can't be a magician, and I believe that. Those are my beliefs. We all have different ones. And when I started to change that circumstance, those people, they changed my beliefs, and then I really believed in myself. And as a magician, we need to believe. The one fundamental rule is, as a magician, you have to believe that the magic can happen. Because if I didn't believe that I can create magic, I would never take that first step to create the magic, if that makes sense. We would just be stuck at square one. So to create it, I have to believe and I have to take that first step. Now, the first step is always the most important. Now, the first step could be building that relationship. The first step could be, meeting that new client, getting that referral, helping that person. That could be that first step. It could be so many different things could be that first step. But the main thing is that you have to believe. Now, can you read off that number one more time?
3,721,728.
So oftentimes all you have to do is believe. And then to believe, you have to take in different perspectives.
That's
And
really
you
cool.
might get 3,721,728.
Pretty cool.
3,721,728. That is the number that we all came up with. Thank you so much, Cecilia. I really do appreciate you helping out with this one.
Thank you.
Having a calculator ready. Thank you. I'm going to join you guys back over here. Okay. Now, I want to share something with you. As I said, as a magician, we have to believe certain things. We have to take that first step. We have to be willing to do so. Now, once I changed that circle of influence, that changed my perspective, ultimately changed my beliefs and changed my actions. Now, earlier I said that two things happened to me when I was 6 years old, right? There were two things that happened to me. And the first one I already told you about. I got a magic kit, changed my life. But there was one other thing that changed my life that might have not been so, I guess, right in your face, right off the bat. And that was when I was 6 years old, my mom took me to the local fair, the local carnival that was going on in the town. And when you walk around as a 6-year-old, you're going to see all these different carnival games, right? There's all these different types of games. Some are you have to throw a ball in the basket, you have to blow up the balloon with a water gun, there's whack-a-mole, all the different types of things, and you win prizes. And as a 6-year-old, there's all these little stuffed animals behind there, and you want to win that prize. Now, when I walked through there, I didn't know all these games were rigged by the time. When you're 6 years old, you don't know that. But as I was walking through, there was one thing that stood out to me the most. There was a prize when I went to this carnival. I said, I need that. That's the prize that I want. And I'm going to show you what that is. That is Mighty Mouse. That was the best thing. I always wanted a Mighty Mouse. And I thought I could win this game. I could win this prize. I can get my Mighty Mouse. Now, the goal was to throw a ball. It was a bouncy rubber ball into a laundry basket. And for those of you who don't know what Mighty Mouse is, I put a picture, no, this way. No, that way. I put a picture of Mighty Mouse right over there. And what Mighty Mouse was, he was basically like a Superman, but a mouse. So he was like a superhuman mouse. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And at the time, I didn't even know what he was. So I wanted to win this Mighty Mouse. So the idea of the game was to throw a bouncy rubber ball into a laundry basket. It was $1 a shot. You hit that shot, you win your Mighty Mouse. So what I do, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, I want to play this game. It's $1 a shot. I want to win this Mighty Mouse. I don't know, whatever I said to her. And she said, of course, you can play this game. I don't see why not. So the idea was to throw it. I'll stand up to give you a little reference here. So I bounced this ball, and you had to get the ball into a laundry basket. So I took the ball as a kid, didn't think anything of it. I threw my first shot, and I missed it. Like I said, it was $1 a shot. So I missed it totally off. It wasn't anywhere close to the basket as a 6-year-old. So I said to my mom, like most 6-year-olds would say, I said, I want another shot. Can I get another $1? So he said, sure, give me another $1, get another shot. I bounced it. This time I took a little bit more practice. I took another shot, missed it again, bounced it right off the front rim. So close this time. And what does a kid do at 6 years old? You ask your mom for another $1. This is repetitive. So she gave me another $1. I took another shot, missed it again. What does a 6-year-old do? You ask for another $1. This time she said, no, that's it, $3. That's my limit. We're going to move on. She doesn't want to waste all her money me trying to win a Mighty Mouse. But for what those people don't know is as a 6-year-old, sometimes these things stay with us. And they stay with us throughout our young adulthood and sometimes even to our adulthood. I missed that shot. And the thing that I wanted to do most is to win that Mighty Mouse. And I became so obsessed with it that when I went home, the first thing I did is I took my mom's laundry, dumped it out of her laundry basket, put the basket on the bed, took a bouncy rubber ball like a handball, and I started practicing throwing that ball into a basket. And I practiced day and night for the entire week. I didn't come out to dinner. I stayed up late when my mom didn't even know. I was just practicing throwing this ball into a basket. So much so that by the end of the week, I was hitting it about 50% of the time. 5 out of 10 times I was hitting this shot. So the next week, the next Saturday came and I said to my mom, Mom, we're going to that fair. I'm going to go win that Mighty Mouse. I'll be waiting by the car. Come out when you're ready. You know what she said to me? She said, that fair is over. It's gone. It's not even, it's a moving fair. Like, that's not even a thing. Like, it travels. Don't you know we go to that park every weekend and it's never there? I was like, oh yeah, my mom has, that's a pretty good point. Well, where's the fair? Where is it? She said, I don't know. It just moves. I don't know where it went. Okay, well, is there another fair? Is there another carnival? Something else we can go to? And she had no idea. So we never went to anything else. Okay, so from there, as a 6-year-old, you got to think how a 6-year-old thinks. I thought every time there was a ball and basket game, the prize was a Mighty Mouse, right? And every time you had the balloon with the water gun, maybe it was a dinosaur. Every game had their prize. I didn't know they just throw random prizes back there and just give it to you. I didn't know that, not at 6. So what I did is I kept practicing that game. I got so good that I was hitting that shot 9 times out of 10. And then I started practicing behind the back, under the legs, off the wall shots. I started hitting shots all over the place. I became the best ball and basket kid you've ever seen at 6 or 7 years old. That was amazing. I would go, it was actually my side hustle, because every time we would go down, me and my mom, my brother, and my family, we drove down to Myrtle Beach every year in South Carolina from New York. And we'd stop at Busch Gardens along the way. We'd stop at different carnivals and fairs. Every time I never ever went to one, not once did I ever see a Mighty Mouse again. But I always practiced. I always thought that hope that one time I will find that carnival, I will find that fair, and I will win that Mighty Mouse. Might have been delusional as a little kid, but it became my side hustle because I became so good. I won so many prizes that I got, you know, when you win like 5 of the little ones, you trade it in for that big one. That's what I used to do. And I used to get little kids would try it, and their moms would pay me money to win their kid prizes. Their kid couldn't win it. So I'd be like, yo, just give me like $5. I'll get your kid a prize. They pay me money. That was my little side hustle game. And I would get 5 little ones, sometimes trading for the big one. I'll show you. Come back over here. That's a picture of me. I am the one holding the big mouse. That is me as a little kid. My brother is behind me. And I won like 5 little ones. That's the closest I ever got to a Mighty Mouse. It was a mouse, but it was not a Mighty Mouse. It was just a regular mouse. And I traded in 5 little ones to get that big one. My mom was so pissed. I'm sure maybe some of you guys went through this as parents or as kids. How are you going to get that big mouse home? You know, we're driving down all the way down to Myrtle Beach. We had to tie it to the roof of the car. So we're tying it to the roof of the car, holding onto it while my mom's driving. She was so pissed. I tell you, she would never hear the end of it. And then it just sits in her house. So it sits in there. And I never got the Mighty Mouse until one day. I was about 9 years old. And I was waiting for my mom to come out of school. She worked in the school system in New York City. And I was waiting in the gymnasium. And I saw these kids playing a game where they took a ball and they threw the ball into a basket. I said to him, what game is this? This is like very familiar. I used to play this game. And like, this is called basketball. I was like, no way, that's not basketball. I like play basketball. I'm amazing at basketball. Basketball, like laundry basketball, that's my game. It's like, no, this is basketball. So I said to myself, well, what if this is the ball and basket game that can get me my Mighty Mouse? So I kept practicing, and I kept practicing basketball. And I got so good at basketball trying to win this Mighty Mouse that I never got. So good that I made my high school basketball team, became the MVP of the league I played in. I got a college scholarship and played in college. Half of my college tuition paid the first 2 years, until one day I injured myself during a game, and I tore my Achilles. And I was devastated. My basketball career was over. As I said earlier, my first goal was to be a basketball player professionally. Second was a magician. And third would have probably been an astronaut, because I always shoot for the stars. So I was devastated. I didn't get my basketball career. I lost my scholarship. That's when I ended up working at Verizon, had to pay the rest of the bills. And my career was over. And all of this, let me recap, all because I missed a shot when I was 6 years old at a carnival, which made me keep pursuing and practicing and putting in that hard work to try to win that doll, win that Mighty Mouse, that I became delusional and started playing basketball, thinking I could win that Mighty Mouse. And I was really just chasing a ghost, which got me to play high school, MVP, college scholarship, get tuition paid for, all because I missed a shot when I was 6 years old. But as I said, those little things that happen to you that you don't realize, that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me when I was 6 years old. Because if I hit that shot, what would have happened? I would just put the Mighty Mouse, probably played with it for a couple weeks or maybe less, and put it in the corner like most 6 years old do and never play with it again. Because I missed it, it allowed me to pursue that dream. And when I tore my Achilles and I was in college, I was devastated. I lost all that scholarship. I never got my dream. And I was dating a girl at the time, and she gave me a gift to cheer me up. She gave me this box that she wanted to cheer me up. And I opened it up and I pulled out what was inside. And it was this. It's a Mighty Mouse. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you might be like, oh, I see, yay. That's awesome. That's so great, right? I was so pissed. I was beyond pissed. Now, let me recap. Like, I know that she was trying to do a good thing. She was trying to cheer me up. She got me the Mighty Mouse that I always wanted. But the thing was that in reality, it was never about the mouse. It was never about the Mighty Mouse. It was about pursuing something to become the best version of yourself, to chase that thing, to push yourself to that limit. As I said, if I got this, if I hit that shot when I was 6, it would have been luck. I hit the shot, I win a Mighty Mouse, great. I would have been happy as a 6-year-old, so happy for a couple of days, probably throw this in the back and never see it again. And it would be in my mom's attic, just like that other big mouse that you just saw in the picture. And I know she was trying to do a good thing at the time, and that's fine. Like, I appreciate it. Now, looking back, it's all perspective, as we said. That was a really good thing that she was doing. But to me, I didn't want it to just be handed to me. That became my dream. And if everybody just handed everything to you on a silver platter, where would you truly be? Because if you just got everything that you wanted, there's no feeling of self-worth, feeling of fulfillment that I did something, that I achieved something. That, as I said, I faced that adversity and I overcame it. If someone just gave you everything you ever wanted, it's a nice gesture. But is that really helping you? And that's what really stood out to me. And that is all I ever did in my career, is just keep pursuing something endlessly. Now, there's a great quote by Teller of Penn and Teller, and he says that magic is just someone spending more time on something than anyone would reasonably expect. That's all it is. It's just, magic is just spending more time on something, working on that card trick, working on that move so that you can't see it. You can't see what I did. And that's all I ever did. And I just mirror that in life, in my business, in my speaking, and everything that I do. From basketball, I just put that into magic, into my career. If you could spend more time on something, then nobody would ever expect you to do that. It creates that magic and that magic moment. And I ask you, I know it sounds cheesy, but where in your life could you spend more time on something than anybody would ever expect you to? And that could be something at home with your family, with a loved one. That could be with a colleague, helping others. That could be with a client, like spending more time on that client. Then they would not expect you to do that. And that's what makes that magical. And that's what makes that experience so much more powerful when you're able to do that. And it's great if they just handed it to you, but if you work for it and you earn it, it's 10 times, 100 times better than if someone ever just handed you something. So I want to try one last thing with you guys. Okay, I'm going to pull up the screen. Again, I'm going to show you my slides. Go to this. Now I'm going to show you a slide. It's a statement. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. It's a statement. And all I want you to do in the chat, very quickly, just write yes or no, whether you agree with this statement. So read it to yourself and just type yes or no whether you agree with this statement. I do agree with it. Maybe you don't. It's up to you. You agree with the statement? I see a bunch of no's. I see a yes, a no, heck yeah. Okay. Now, for those of you, I'll pull up this again. I didn't change the slide at all. It's still there. I want you to read it again. Now, many of you might seem that what it says, if you really read it, I'll read it to you. It says, when the time comes, I 100% support mandatory vacations for everyone. Anyone who refuses should be forced to take a vacation. Now, many of you might have read this as saying vaccines. Why did you read it as saying vaccines? It's based on something called a cognitive bias. Now, this is what Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson refers to as a cognitive bias, is a strong preconceived notion that someone or something based on the information that we have or the information that we perceive to have or maybe even lack. These preconceptions are mental shortcuts that our brain makes to produce and expedite information. So what it is that our brain, and I will go back to that slide if anybody wants to read it again. Our brain makes these shortcuts because we always try to find out the easy way out, the easy way to do something. As I said, everything you ever wanted is on the other side of hard. And the more effort and the more time you put into something, you will achieve it. And based on what's going on in the world, our brain knows the vaccines that's being pushed down our throat by the media and everything that we're hearing, that we already make that preconceived notion that that's what it is. Now, this could be a dangerous and a scary thing, especially when we're dealing possibly with clients or coworkers, when we go into a situation without asking those questions that I said, and we're already going in saying that this is what this client needs because based on my experience, that's what you need. Now, you have that experience, what you should hold on to, but you should also allow that learning process to learn from your clients, learn from your peers, to create a better solution. Because sometimes we just so quick to jump the gun. And I do believe that if everybody slows down and just takes that time to understand and takes those perspectives in, I do believe that we all want vacations. I think now, does anybody agree that we all really want vacations? Everyone cannot afford to take a vacation. Yes, that is very true. I am going to use 3 people for this last one. So I do need some people to help me out as I wrap up here. If anybody wants to help, just write me in it, because yes, don't write yes, just write me if you want to help. I need 3 people, 3 volunteers.
Michael, you pick them and I'll move them over.
Sure. Let's take Carrie R. Johnson. We'll take R. Johnson. And we'll take
Carrie Barrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll go Renee. Let's kind of went every other one. Not trying to hurt
Renee.
anybody's feelings. Are you all, and if you're all on, just put your cameras on so I can see you. So we have Carrie.
Hello.
Who else? We have Renee.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you have your camera or no?
You know, my camera's not been working lately. I don't know what's the problem. My computer is not acknowledging the fact that I have a video camera. So I'm sorry, you can't.
I can hear you though. That's okay. We're technology, Renee. That's it. That's 2021, you know. And we got R. Johnson. R. Johnson here. You have a camera? Do you have a camera? Yes, you have a camera. Unmute yourself. Yes, bring yourself on. And, yeah, Renee, Carrie. What does the R stand for?
Renata.
Renata?
Yes.
That's a pretty name, Renata.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So we have Carrie, Renata, and we have Renee. Now, Carrie, all of you, I think you all agree that we need a vacation. You all, the 3 of you agree that we need a vacation?
Yeah.
Should be mandatory, right? We all take a vacation. whether maybe someone will pay for our vacation. We'll have a dream vacation. So Carrie, Renata, and Renee, the three of us are going to picture our dream vacation that all of us at WIOA are going to go on. We're all going to go on a dream vacation, and it's all up to you guys. So Carrie, if you were to take a dream vacation, where would you like to go? This could be anywhere you'd like to go. Maybe even
Are you paying?
Of course, I got that $500 from before in the envelope, so we're good.
Okay. I will go to an all-inclusive place in the Caribbean.
Well, what place would you like to go to? Name any country or place.
Let's go to the DR.
To Dominican Republic, DR. Perfect. So, have you been there before?
No, I just got back from Mexico though.
Oh, how was that?
Amazing.
Okay. I heard a little crazy things about the coronavirus in Mexico, but we won't go there.
I mean, the airport's a little insane, but.
I heard, yeah. All right. So we got, we're going to go to Renee. We'll go to Renee. Now, we're going to go on this vacation. Now, you could bring anybody you want to go on this vacation. This could be a celebrity. This could be like a superhero, a Mickey Mouse. It could be anything you want. It could be a fictional character, anything. Who would you like to take on this vacation with us, Renee?
Well, is a fictional character or a real character or somebody who has been alive?
Yeah, it could be, anything, anyone at all.
Well, I would take Jesus.
Jesus, perfect. We'll get water to wine. We get water to wine.
That's right. That's
It'll
right.
be all inclusive on Jesus. All inclusive on Jesus. So Renata, now we're going to Dominican Republic. This is going to be all inclusive that we're going. We're bringing Jesus. This is going to cost a good amount of money, probably. I mean, I don't know how much, but how much do you think that this trip would cost us? This could be like from 5 cents to $1 million, whatever number that you think something like this would cost. What do you think?
For all of us, yeah, probably be.
What did you say?
$250,000.
So 250,000?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds about. Well, yeah, it sounds about right. I don't know how we're getting Jesus, but yeah. It's probably most of that money is going to be spent on getting Jesus, probably resurrecting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably do this around Easter or something like that. Resurrect him. So I just want to bring your attention, guys, to what you might see over my head right here. Oop, there we go. There's an envelope. I'm going to show you this envelope. Take this clip off of it. Now, you guys might be able to see what it says here. It says dream. And this is actually a dream vacation that we're going to go on. So I want to show you what I wrote here. It says, take it from the top, everyone at the WIOA Summit will decide to go on a dream vacation. We will go to Dominican Republic. We will bring Jesus. This will cost $250,000. But a callback to that earlier time when we said we're going on a vacation, we're at the airport, we must leave by 5:15 in the morning if we want to get there. We have all day to spend in Dominican Republic with Jesus. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Carrie, Renee, Renata, all of you guys. You guys have been amazing. And everybody at the WIOA Summit, I just want to leave you with one last thing, just to recap. When we change those people around us, that circle of influence, and we are those positive people on others, sometimes you got to give to get. You know, you want to surround yourself with those people. That's going to change your perspective. When you take in those perspectives, that's going to change your beliefs and ultimately change your life. If you all believe in the magic, anything is possible. So thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll leave it to you guys. I'll wrap up.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
This has
guys.
been fantastic. Just a couple little notes there. I'm going to post the link. Again, everything for the WIOA Summit is from the IL Workforce Academy links. I'm going to post that link in the chat. Go back in there, select your breakout sessions, and we'll see you in breakouts. Those start at 10:45. There is opportunities for lunch to join us for lunch today. There is one session that will have a sign language interpreter. The other sessions will all have closed captioning. All sessions today have live closed captioning. And we are so excited to have you with us today. And thank you so much, Michael. I love your presentation. I think it's a fantastic message, and we really appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.